Hello, my name is Amigo Toyota. You killed my father, my mother, my brother, my roommate. Prepare to die! What the hell is happening? Caramba, coño, my eyes! Ah, carajo! Hello, my name is Desmond Miles. I have a fanny pack. In just a short few months, my life has changed forever. And I don't want my old life back, and not now, because I am an assassin. An assassin. Why don't you shut your face, huh? You talking all the time with the mouth. You shut up. You shut up. And no one like a Desmond anyway, huh? Oh, you gonna blame me, huh? Why don't he shut his face, huh? Oh, fuck you! Look at this shit, the fuck of this! What the hell is this place, huh? Fuck this place! I'm gonna go back, huh? The colonial times are one of my favorite historical eras, more specifically the American Revolution. So I definitely had extra motivation to anticipate and wait for Assassin's Creed 3 to release. And it was a joy to meet the game's cast of famous founding fathers like Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, and George Washington. Now, of course, it's all fictional. Obviously, you don't play a game like this for its historical accuracy or to study American history.
Prescott? Evening, gents. Listen, the regulars are out. You need to rally your men. And, put on some trousers. At once.
Now, the colonial times were a bit of risk for Ubisoft to take. Traditionally, our heroes have been jumping along endless, densely packed rooftops, but that just can't be done in this setting. It's actually instead replaced with a tree running mechanic for the frontier sections. Now, these are certainly fresh and a welcome change of pace for some, but they just don't flow as well and aren't quite as fun to play on as previous Assassin games, admittedly. And that's not to say that you can't access rooftops at all. You can. Only doing so is not only harder, it's almost discouraged in this game. Soldiers spot you extremely quickly and demand that you come down with barely any time, especially when your character sometimes sticks to the surfaces you don't want. So you'll end up avoiding the roofs and spending almost all of your time on the ground, which doesn't really seem right in an Assassin's game. As for the story, if you haven't played any of the other games to completion, you're gonna feel lost, despite an intro that tries its best to explain. It picks up right where the last game left off. The Assassins and Templar have basically been fighting over scraps of technology from this Forerunner race that had come before humanity. And they tried to stop an apocalypse, but despite all their technology and knowledge, they were unable to, and now it's all up to Desmond Miles. Ugh, Desmond.
I'm sick of being treated like I'm not even here. Desmond, do this. Desmond, do that. Desmond, you better figure things out because the sun is gonna turn us all to ash.
You need to get it together, kid.
The Animus, by its very nature, serves as this big distraction that pulls players out of an involving, immersive, historical experience. In all of these games, it's just hard to get in a groove when you're constantly pulled from the Matrix and put into a shittier game.
Welcome to the real world.
What's worse is some idiot had the bright idea to make all the loading screens blinding white. Every 3 seconds you're blasted with a hard transition that melts your fucking eyeballs. Seriously, make these loading screens black, like now. Caramba, coño, my eyes! Ah, carajo! God. So when you get back into the Animus, your first hours are spent in what seems like needless side missions and menial tasks where you assemble a precursor team for an eventual plot twist. Now, fans of the series are gonna see this coming from a mile away. Newcomers probably won't. But in either case, it doesn't have the impact that it should.
You all saw that, right?
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Desmond, you need to keep going. You need to get it together, kid.
Well, I'm just going to pretend that this never happened and get back to bringing everyone up to speed on where we stand.
Now after that, you play as young Connor, playing with your friends while simultaneously training your tracking, hiding, and hunting skills. And when you return to your village, you find it burning and your mother in great danger. It's the only time the game pulls at your heartstrings and makes you relate to the character of Connor. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. You see, unlike Ezio, all the main characters you play aren't very memorable or likable for that matter.
What? I was told you could train me.
No.
Connor is humorless, he's short-spoken, he's really rather dull.
I will not leave, do you hear me? I'm never leaving.
Whereas Desmond is just Desmond. Once you get past the very narrow and scripted early sections, the game does open up and it allows you more freedom. And there is so much to do here. It's almost overwhelming. From a very deep hunting system with traps and lures, a ton of different types of animals, to even board games. Now the good news is that at best of times, it reminded me of the legendary Red Dead Redemption, only with the verticality of the Assassin's games. However, the bad news is that unlike Red Dead Redemption, where nearly every side mission was interesting and thematic, the side missions and activities here just aren't up to par. So most you will end up ignoring. Stuff like you searching for almanac pages for Benjamin Franklin, finding and opening chests using a terrible lockpick mechanic, probably the worst I've seen. Even less interesting is opening underground entrances in the city by following around rats. You also collect feathers scattered in the trees and retrieve trinkets by pressing X for peg leg. Riveting stuff, I know.
Captain Kidd's letters, boy. He hid a great treasure somewheres.
Like what? Where?
Use your imagination, Captain.
And despite the freedom the game gives you, it still somehow manages to feel very linear, a very linear experience overall. And that's because there's a ton of hand-holding going on in the main missions. You spend far too much time just in forced slow walk sections that we all love, following someone while they spout exposition. And most of the set-piece battles and events are a complete and utter disappointment. I was hoping for a badass payoff like in the trailers where you'd be able to roam free on the battlefield as lines of infantry engage each other in 19th century battle.
Fire!
Yeah! Only you come up from behind them and slice their throats? yeah, that's metal. But unfortunately, what's there is nothing like that. It's extremely scripted and controlled. If you don't follow a certain path, you're dead.
Incoming fire! Here it comes! Get cover!
During Lexington, you basically position your horse behind 3 different lines and press X.
Wait for the sick. Fire now.
And then you do it again with a fixed cannon later on in another battle. Paul Revere screams directions in your ear as he rides bitch on your horse.
I believe we are on course. This way, Connor. Keep going. I believe we are on course. Yes, this is it. This is the way. To the left, Connor. This is it. You have got.
Shut up, Paul Revere! It makes it laughable when Connor takes credit for winning these battles and making these events happen in American history.
Enjoy your victory, Commander. It will be the last I deliver you.
They're not all bad. Fort activities are a ton of fun, and you could go in the classic assassin approach or total Rambo style, taking out 20 to 30 fully equipped soldiers, which does seem kind of ridiculous as they all clump up on you, but it's of course made possible by the combat system in Assassin's Creed. Love it or hate it, it's as satisfying as ever here. Between your tomahawk and stringing up enemies from trees, you've plenty of options for dispatching your foes. And different enemies require different strategies too, which helps cut down on spam attacks. However, it's not going to change any minds, because it's easy as hell for the most part. Just block to win, and watch as countless trained soldiers stare at you and do nothing as you slaughter their oldest friends. Now, it should be mentioned that crafting is an element that's been expanded on. You hire different people around the frontier to come work for you on your homestead, and through them you could do things like gather enough wood to create a barrel. So there's more exciting recipes to find throughout the map, and it's a good way of making some quick cash, but it's underwhelming to say the least. And without much to purchase in the world with that cash, I mean, you can easily beat this game without ever buying a new weapon, so there's really not all that much point to it. However, naval missions are some of the best in any game yet. Finally, something fresh and new. Piloting my first ship on the open seas was fucking amazing. It was thematic. It was just incredible. The sense of being in control of this lumbering vessel as you fire cannons and swivel guns and fight rogue winds to stay on track. There's even a mechanic where you press X to take cover from cannon fire as shrapnel pieces and wood splinters just fly all around you with a whiz of fucking cannons.
Man of war! We need to get position! We're under attack! Man of war firing! All our guns are down. We've no way to defend ourselves now. That beast is sure to sink us if we're not careful.
The crew even cheers as you get like critical hits, direct hits on other ships. It's just fucking badass. It's easily the best part of the new game.
Where in the bloody hell did she come from? Stay back! Ready out to fire! Let's fly! And that
this game does a better job than most other full-blown pirate games. So I hope someone takes this particular concept and execution of naval combat and creates a whole game around it with like exploration and shit. That will be awesome. Finally, we have a fully featured and polished multiplayer mode with extensive tutorials and training, and it offers a unique experience that you really can't find in other games. It's the other best part of Assassin's Creed 3. There's player progression with tons and tons of customization options. You can finally be a female assassin for the first time. And although Ubisoft has found a way to monetize it with microtransactions, I mean, come on, we already paid $60 up front. But for the most part, you can get what you need without paying, so it's fine. It's just annoying to see. There's over 12 modes, though, in multiplayer. Domination and Manhunt among my favorites, and a new cooperative Wolfpack mode that has you assassinating a series of targets together as a group, earning more time to keep playing. Almost like Assassin's Creed 3's unique version of a firefight mode, because there's like 25 waves that increase in difficulty as you go.
Your objective is to work as a team to reach the next sequence. Score before the timer runs out. New sequence reached. Extra time. Triple multi-kill. New targets available.
I got to admit, I was seriously impressed with the amount of content and attention paid here. The final thing, though, that holds it back is this supposed, you know, you're supposed to give us a nice conclusion to a long-standing story arc here, but this ending, oh God, the ending, you seriously, what is with this year and endings? Why is it so effing hard for a blockbuster AAA game these days to have a damn satisfying, conclusive ending? God forbid you actually have to work hard and keep the series going, or start another self-contained story to keep it going. The ending here, which I won't spoil, as if there's anything to spoil, is that it all hinges on this final choice that he makes. But they don't even bother giving you a choice to make. They don't bother giving you an explanation, and the cutscene that happens at the end is barely worth anything. Now, there's an epilogue that allows you to continue in colonial times to wrap up any side missions and activities, but that's hardly a concession. And perhaps showing how rushed they were, they introduced something called pivots, and they half-ass it because it's not explained at all. It's as if they had no time. They're basically cheat codes that you earn and unlock, these little origamis that you find in the world by hacking. I don't know, check YouTube for how they really work. But it just shows you that they sort of rushed it there at the end, which could explain this terrible ending for Desmond. Connor's ending is alright, but Desmond's, yeah. I hope you weren't expecting a really huge payoff there, because it's not there. So ultimately, the naval combat, the time period, and the very polished multiplayer save the single player portion of the game and prop up the final verdict to a 7 out of 10. If you have no interest in any of those three things, though, you're not gonna get as much enjoyment out of it as you would have hoped, especially if you're a fan of the series. If Connor had not been so rigid and dull, and had there been stronger activities and side missions, this game could have been, in my opinion, the mega blockbuster that Ubisoft was clearly shooting for. So in conclusion, what can I say? I mean, if you liked all the other Assassin's Creed games, you're probably gonna like this one, even if the main character is not very interesting or likable. And I don't know what they're gonna do if they decide to go do Assassin's Creed 4 in the Civil War or World War II or post-apocalyptic or whatever. I just hope that if they do decide to do that, that they change it up. Hopefully there's something fresh and new if they decide to keep the series going, and you know it's gonna keep going. So until then, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Hi, I'm Desmond Miles, and I have a fanny pack. In just a short few months. Fuck it. Let's go back into historical Assassin's Creed 4. Oh, I know he shut his face, huh? I know when I like him, I know he shut his face. Huh? Know when I like him, huh? You know I like him, I know I like him, I know when I like him. Okay? And the Oscar goes to Hangry Joe. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I did everyone a favor. Okay? Hey, fuck you! Fuck you! You're cool. Fuck you.
This is the end of the line.